Now, with the last week and the results, a lot of congestion at the top of the standings. Really fascinating to see all the teams that are still in the mix for a Big Sky title. What do you take away from all that in terms of where you guys are and the rest of the conference?
There's more parity even than the cluster at the top. And when you look at some of these games, I mean, Montana kicks a last-second field goal to beat Portland. Eastern Washington scores in the last few seconds to beat Northern Colorado. Weber and Idaho State go down to the wire on the last-second field goal. I mean, every game, not just among the top teams, every game the rest of the way could go either way. So we have to be very vigilant about that. We're not looking at the standings, really. We're looking at our next opponent, because in this conference this year, I think every game is up for grabs.
Besides parity, I mean, what else is it that's been so difficult for teams in the Big Sky? I mean, it's not isolated to just you guys, but winning on the road seems to be really tough for all the teams in this conference this season.
I don't think you can say besides parity. I think that the answer is parity. You've got very good teams. We've got some new coaches that, like Marshall Spurbeck down at Sac State, that's building a good program. Nigel Burton's done a very good job building Portland's program. Weber used to be not very good. Ron McBride came in, built a strong program. Scott Downing's done a very good job at Northern Colorado building that program. I mean, we've got programs across this conference. Obviously, they want to be successful. They're putting the resources into the programs. And you're going to have balance that way, and that's a good thing. I think it's a lot more exciting to have good, close games across the board. 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, or whatever, every time we play. I think that makes for a great conference.
Oh, that said, Northern Arizona, I've never seen that place as full, as packed, and add to the fact that it's 7,000 feet. You have to fly in Phoenix and drive up.
We actually flew right into Flagstaff.
Yeah. I mean, but just talk. I mean, is that the toughest road trip in the conference?
I don't think it's I don't think it's the toughest road trip. I think they're all challenging. It's actually a fairly good trip, but we fly right into Flagstaff. It's an hour and a half, hour and 45-minute flight. Pretty easy. We got down there. We had good facilities. They're very cordial hosts. I think they had a great crowd because it was Parents' Weekend, and they also had been away from home for 4 straight weeks, so that we just caught them at a bad time that way. Biggest problem for us on the road this year is we've played some pretty good teams. We played a Pac-10 team on the road. We played a very good Sac State team on the road, and we played a very good NAU team on the road. To me, it's more about who we played than where we played it.
Consistency also an issue for Northern Colorado. You mentioned Dylan Orms, being a part of that, but also just, they've been inconsistent in areas besides Dylan Orms. But is this team more of the team that has gotten blown out in some of the games, or more of the team that's played real close with people like Weber State?
No, what I see is I really put a lot of stock in the most recent game. When I'm looking at, I've got all the video, I've watched all the games Northern Colorado played this entire year, but I still put the most emphasis on the most recent game. What direction are they headed? Where are they at right now as a team? And what I'm seeing is a team that's playing extremely well. Had a great opportunity for a huge win for their program last week and fell short. And I think they're going to be very hungry to try to push it over the top and get that win. They just barely lost to Weber, barely lost to Eastern here just a week ago. And I think we're catching a team at a time when they're playing pretty well.
Any updates on injury situations?
We didn't have any additional new injuries in the game at NAU, so that's a good plan, a good outcome, I guess. Jason Dialba is going to miss a little bit today with a sore leg. He was hobbled a little bit in that game, and they'll have several guys miss practice today with lingering injuries. As far as the outlook for Saturday, we're really hoping that Clay Bignell can make it back. He's been almost there the last couple of weeks. I'm hoping personally that this will be the week when he comes back. I think he's got the best chance to come back of all the guys who did not play on Saturday.
So Arnold Briggs?
Doubtful. Craney, possible. Bignell, possible. Dialba will be fine, but he won't practice much this week. I think everybody else should be in pretty good shape. O'Connell's got a chance to get back before the end of the season, but he won't be ready this week.
And just to switch a bit of gears here, Coach, I know you can't mention players specifically by name, but you guys had a couple good lands there last week in the recruiting game. I mean, how's recruiting been coming along for the staff thus far?
We've been working really hard on the recruiting. We start early, and back in the spring, and we spend a lot of time on it. I learned a long time ago as a head coach, one thing I try to do is I try to do some recruiting every day. And we've been working hard with that, and it's really nice to know that those efforts are being rewarded, that guys are seeing, the progress in our program and, our facility improvement that's coming up, the way that we're competitive and winning. All those things are positive, and it's nice to know that's being, observed by the young men out in the state. And that's, we're continuing to work hard. It's never over till February, though, too, when we finally get the name on the dotted line. So we still have a lot of weeks to go on this.
Has there been any sort of design to get after these kids now while, you know, the program is really on the rise?
Like
and
I
all
said,
the-
we started back in April, and every week is a new message depending on what happened, what's going on. The message has been really positive this fall. I think that's been very helpful.